Okay, guys. So breaking news. To an extent, the information here. This is per Fandom Wire. Spider-Man tweet shows Tobey and Andrew different approaches to spoilers. Okay, and the reason why I say this is breaking news is because essentially what this guy is saying in this article is that a fan came up to Tobey Maguire and he confirmed that he was in No Way Home with a wink and a nod. Okay, but he couldn't necessarily say it. And this article just goes on to show the difference between Andrew Garfield's approach to denying the rumors and Tobey Maguire's approach to, in a sense, kind of confirming the rumors without even really saying anything. So I thought this was kind of interesting. Just to go on in the article, it says Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be a wild adventure for Peter Parker and Doctor Strange as it's cracking open the multiverse. It also has Dr. Octopus and Electro reprising their roles, which Jamie Foxx has now come out to say that he's not in it and didn't confirm, but okay. Go on further. This further ignites in the fans the featuring of former Spider-Man actors. Even though the stars are denying their presence in the movie, a Twitter user has compared their approaches. On one hand, Andrew Garfield denies his involvement twice in No Way Home, and then even a third time last night on Jimmy Fallon. And on the other hand, we have Tobey Maguire responding in a way that hints at his involvement. Okay, so it's got the picture here of the fan with him. It says here the fan in the second photo had an encounter with Tobey Maguire. He recalls that he asked Tobey if he'll be a part of the film. Tobey merely smiled and winked at him. This can be a hint that he's there, but we cannot rely solely on his encounter for such an important information. Andrew Garfield denying his presence can be true, but we never know if it's just a way of hyping things up. However, his stunt double was spotted on the set of No Way Home, so it's going to be difficult to trust his words. For this, we'll have to wait a little longer for more information to come until the movie comes out December 17, 2021. Now, that was their article and just kind of going over it. And both of their stunt doubles were on set, so that part has been confirmed. Then, last night, Andrew Garfield was on Jimmy Fallon. And kind of he's been doing a lot of interviewing, a lot of press. In this, quoting him, he says, "It's an exciting idea that people are kind of obsessing over, and I would be too if I was, just out there not knowing what was going on. But I do know what's going on, and I'm afraid it's going to be very disappointing for people." So this is what Andrew Garfield's response has been each time he's been asked about it. It's like he's trying to temper expectations. He goes on to say, "But what can I do? I have to let people be disappointed. That's a big part of my recovery in my life is I have to allow people to have their own feelings. I can't mitigate or control anyone else's experience. That's a practice of mine. So if they want to create an expectation for themselves, that's up to them." And I thought that was a very interesting thing to say. Now, the article does go on to talk about the history and how he's been rumored to be joining them, but he's been denying it, saying I didn't get a call and all these other things. You're not going to get a confirmation until the movie comes out, but the question is this possibly maybe that Tobey Maguire is in the movie and Andrew Garfield is not? If any of you remember back when Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out, during the promotion of that film, and even during the filming of that film, Andrew Garfield had a very public falling out with the Sony producers. He did not leave. The whole reason why, or part of the reason why he was recast as Spider-Man is that he fell out with the Sony executives. I believe that there were talks from Marvel Studios at first when they first launched Amazing Spider-Man to have Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man just join the universe and be a part of the universe. Feige wanted to do that way back then. Of course, that did not come to fruition because Perlmutter was in charge and the Sony exec at the time, I think it was somebody different. Then the Fox executive came over after the whole falling out with Amy Pascal, and that's when they were able to get it done. Permler was out of the way, and then Amy Pascal could work directly with Feige, and that's how they were able to get it done. In doing that, they did, go the younger route because they wanted to do Civil War at that point. And they needed a Spider-Man who was a little more influenced by his older peers. So, at that point it wouldn't have made sense for Garfield, but he had walked away from the role. He was done, and now, he's saying he would still like to see a Sinister Six movie, and I'm going to theorize a little bit on what I think is happening here. It could be that he may not be in the film because he did fall out with the Sony execs. They could be bringing in Tobey Maguire to play the older Spider-Man to Tom Holland and opening up that as a possibility. And then maybe they want to continue telling Tobey's story after the movie, because there's a good chance when you look at the previews, if there are both Spider-Mans or even just one other Spider-Man in this movie, they're not going to show up to the third act. And by then, what you're basically going to get is a glorified cameo. I mean, it's still Tom Holland's movie. What possibly they could be setting up is that Tobey Maguire comes in that third act, and then his story continues a little bit, maybe in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And then depending on the falling out of that film, that'll determine if we get, the original trilogy Spider-Man, if we get a Spider-Man 4 that Sony gets to produce and just do on their own, or you get a Sinister Six with Tobey, or you get a Sinister Six with Andrew, or you know what I mean? Like they're like with them opening this up the way that they are, Sony could go on and make Spider-Man movies, and Marvel Studios could make Spider-Man movies, even though I doubt they would do that because it's branding, and that would be kind of counter, productive. But there's a lot of possibilities in this that they could go. It could be that he may not be in the movie, and that's why he wants to. Well, that's why he's saying what he's saying, because you have to remember, as fans, we've been here before. When WandaVision came out and all of this stuff was speculating, which, by the way, a lot of the stuff that was speculated in WandaVision has turned out to be now speculated for Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home. So it wasn't that people were off on their speculations, it's just that maybe we were a little ahead of the curve. Marvel Studios does tend to move a little slower in their storytelling. Feige really likes to really line up the dominoes before he just knocks them down, which other studios have a problem with, always knocking theirs down before they get them lined up. So, that part of it I can understand, and him saying what he's saying I can understand. Andrew Garfield also came out to debunk the photos that they've been copyright striking on the internet, saying that they are photoshopped. First he said he didn't know of the photos, but then he said he heard about the photos. So I think he talks too much, honestly. I think he's probably worse than Tom Holland at this point. If the movie comes out and he's in the movie, his PR skills when it comes to the Marvel snipers and all of that, he needs to take he needs to go through his growing pains like Tom Holland did, because Tom Holland's been rock solid throughout this, and he was spoiling everything in the first 3 or 4 movies he was in, between Civil War, Infinity War, Homecoming. Like, he couldn't stop dropping stuff. So he's kind of got it under control. Now it seems like Garfield's kind of picking up where he left off, and now he doesn't know what to say or what not to say or how to say it or whatnot. And they got a problem with that. So he needs to stay off of TV, stop doing interviews, and just chill out for the next couple of months. But that's the news on it, guys. That's where we're at as of today. Tomorrow could be a totally different story. So that's the Spider-Man news for it on today. Let me know, what do you guys really think? I kind of really want to know, do you really think that all 3 Spider-Man are in the movie? Do you think it's just Tom Holland? Do you think it's Holland and Tobey? Or do you think it's all 3? So let me know down in the comment section. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I am out.